Success smells like blood. The scent hangs heavy in the humid air of the Great Rift Valley. A coppery perfume that draws the clan of Australopithecus together. They have done the impossible, through a coordinated barrage of shrieks, gestures, and thrown rocks. They have driven a lone leopard from its freshly killed gazelle. It is a major victory, a windfall of protein and fat that can sustain them for days. This is the chaotic, opportunistic nature of prehistoric life, a world where survival is often a matter of calculated theft. The clan gathers around the carcass, a tense, electric energy crackling between them. This is the moment their community is supposed to function, a moment of shared triumph. But hunger is a sharper tooth than any leopard's. Before the weaker members and the females with young can approach, our OKH muscles his way to the front. He is a bull of a male. His massive shoulders and powerful jaw are a clear statement of his place in the group. He is not the leader in any strategic sense, but he is the apex of physical force. He and two other large males form a living wall around the prize. They tear at the soft underbelly. Their guttural grunts a clear warning to any who might dare approach. The delicate bonds of social cohesion, so vital during the dangerous act of driving off the predator, dissolve in an instant. The rest of the clan watches from a distance, their initial excitement curdling into a familiar, bitter frustration. A young female, clutching a wide-eyed infant to her chest, lets out a low, trading whoop. ROKH doesn't even look at her. He rips a long strip of meat free and turns his back, a gesture of absolute dominance. This is the brutal law of might, the oldest law there is. The strength that protects the clan from outside threats now starves it from within. This emotional turning point, repeated after every successful fight, is a slow-acting poison, creating fissures of resentment that threaten to shatter the group. The shared effort of the hunt is betrayed by the selfishness of the feast. Observing from the periphery is ZHO. He is old, his fur grey, his movements stiff. He is no match for OKH's brute strength, and he knows it, but his mind, a repository of seasons of observation, sees a pattern that the others, blinded by hunger and fear, do not. He sees that this internal conflict is a greater threat than any leopard. He watches the hungry faces of the young, the future of their clan, and understands that her OKH's strength is a lie. It is a strength that weakens the whole. This moment of clarity is a pivotal event in the long, slow story of hominid history. GHO does not have words for concepts like justice or society, but he feels their absence as a physical ache, as he watches our OKH gorge himself. GHO's mind begins to work, searching for a new kind of weapon, one that a brute like our OKH cannot understand, and therefore cannot fight. The weapon ZHO conceives is not made of stone or wood. It is an idea. He waits. Patience is his greatest strength, a form of foresight honed over a long, hard life. He waits until OKH and the other strong males have eaten their fill and collapsed into a torpid, meat-drunk sleep. Then, and only then, does he act. He approaches the mangled carcass, a place still charged with the ghost of our OKH's dominance. The other clan members watch, their movements hesitant, still conditioned by fear. ZHO does not eat. Instead, he performs a radical act, a piece of deliberate behavioral modification that goes against every instinct for self-preservation. He uses a sharp flake of flint, a simple ancient tool, to cut away a choice piece of the remaining meat. He turns not to his own mate, not to his own kin, but to the young female with the infant, the one our OKH so pointedly ignored. He holds the meat out to her. She flinches, her eyes darting towards the sleeping forms of the dominant males. ZHO stands his ground, his expression unreadable, his arm outstretched. It is a command, an offer, and a lesson all in one. After a long, tense moment, she scuttles forward, snatches the meat, and retreats. This is the first sentence of the new law. He repeats the act, methodically, a piece for an old, frail male whose hunting days are long past. A piece for a juvenile who had been brave during the leopard encounter. He is not just distributing food, he is distributing a message. He is recalibrating the dominance hierarchy, shifting its foundation from pure physical power to something new, social contribution and need. It is an act of calculated altruism, and it sends a ripple of change through the group's dynamic. For the first time, the feast is not a battle. It is a ritual, orchestrated by wisdom, not strength. The clan, now fed, is calmer. Their internal tensions eased. When ROKH awakens and sees the carefully divided remains of the gazelle, a low growl rumbles in his chest. He looks at ZHO, his eyes narrowed with a confusion that is close to rage. He does not understand what has happened. His physical power has been circumvented. His authority undermined without a single blow being struck. ZHO meets his gaze, unafraid. He has no physical weapon, but he has the support, silent and newly forged, of the rest of the clan. ZHO is not just an elder, he is an intelligence point in the network of his species. He has seen the future, and it is one where the clan either learns to cooperate or it fractures and dies out. To reinforce his new role, he uses the most basic form of language they possess, pantomime. He stands before the group and mimics ROKH's hoarding, his face a caricature of selfish greed. Then he mimics his own act of sharing, his expression one of community. The message is simple, but its implications are profound. He is attempting to write a law in the air, a rule that must be remembered and followed if they are to survive themselves. The unseen chain is being forged. The new law is a fragile thing, an idea held in the collective memory of the clan. It is tested a few days later. A smaller kill this time. A young warthog cornered and killed by two juvenile hunters. It is barely enough to go around. As the clan gathers, the old tension returns. A ghost at the feast. All eyes turn to ROKH. This is the moment the abstract concept of a rule collides with the concrete reality of an empty stomach. ROKH makes his move. He strides forward, contemptuously pushing aside one of the young hunters who made the kill. He is not just hungry, he is reasserting his dominance, challenging the new order ZHO has tried to create. He is reminding the clan that the law of muscle is the only one that is real. ZHO, seeing the challenge, steps forward. He does not try to physically block ROKH. Instead, he lets out a shot. Commanding bark, a sound usually reserved for spotting a predator, and points an accusing finger at the big male. He then points to the rest of the clan, his expression one of appeal. It is a question posed to the entire community. Do we return to the old way? For a heartbeat, the clan is frozen. The young hunters who made the kill look at the ground. Intimidated, the females shrink back. It seems the experiment is over. That brute force will win, as it always has. But then, something shifts. One of the other large males, one who had previously allied himself with ROKH, hesitates. He looks at ROKH, then at the hungry faces of the females and their young. He takes a half step, not towards ROKH in the kill, but to the side, aligning himself with ZHO. It is a small movement, but its meaning is immense. Another male follows his lead. The balance of power, once a simple equation of ROKH versus everyone else, has become a complex political calculation. This is the birth of the social contract, a moment that future studies in anthropology will identify as a cornerstone of human society. ROKH, seeing his support crumble, is now isolated. He is still the strongest individual, but he is no longer stronger than all of them combined. He lets out a roar of pure frustration and rage. He charges, not at the kill, but at ZHO, the architect of his humiliation. But before he can reach the old male, the two other big males move to intercept him. They do not attack him outright, but they block his path. Their bodies a living shield. It is a chaotic, shoving brawl, a brutal ballet of grunts and blows. ROKH, in his fury, is driven back, He is not seriously injured, but he is defeated. He retreats to the edge of the group, ostracized. His physical power rendered impotent by the clan's collective will. ZHO, bruised but resolute, proceeds with the ritual of sharing the meager kill, his actions now backed by the full weight of the community's authority. The unseen rule is no longer just an idea. It has been tested in the fire of conflict, and it has been hardened into law. The cost was violence, but the prize is order. This confrontation was not about a single piece of meat. It was about the future of social life on this planet. GHOS innovation, the imposition of a rule for the collective good, is arguably the most important invention in the story of our species, more significant than the first stone to law the mastery of fire. It is the moment we began to consciously wage war not against the outside world, but against the chaos within ourselves. This was the first law, the ancestor of every constitution, every treaty, every moral code that has ever been written. It is a recognition that the social contract is not a gift, but a hard-won victory, a fragile truce we must constantly renegotiate with the brutish, selfish instincts that are our oldest inheritance. ROKH's defeat was not the end of his kind of power, but it was the beginning of a new one. The authority of the community. Every time we queue in a line, share a public resource, or create a law to protect the vulnerable from the strong, we are honoring the legacy of that brutal, transformative moment. We are still that clan, huddled together, constantly choosing between the law of the jungle and the law of the group, weighing the desires of the individual against the survival of the whole. Our societies are built not on stone, but on the accumulated weight of the rules we agree not to break. But what happens when the rules themselves become the cage?